What if your dying mother's last words were a warning, "Don't trust your sister"? For one son, a cryptic letter launches a desperate race through family secrets, betrayal, and a terrifying truth that could destroy everything. The hospital room was quiet except for the steady beep of the heart monitor and the soft hum of the oxygen machine. Michael sat at his mother's bedside, holding her frail hand as the afternoon sun cast long shadows across the floor. He'd always been close to her, closer, he thought, than his older sister, Claire, who lived out of state and rarely visited. Their mother, Evelyn, had been the glue that held the family together, her warmth and wisdom a constant in Michael's life. As the end drew near, Evelyn motioned for Michael to come closer. She pressed a sealed envelope into his palm, her eyes urgent. "Read this when I'm gone," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "And remember, don't trust your sister." Before Michael could ask what she meant, Evelyn slipped away, her hand going limp in his. The funeral was a blur of condolences and casseroles. Claire arrived late, her face hidden behind dark sunglasses, her embrace stiff and cold. Michael felt a chill as he watched her move through the house, touching their mother's things with a possessive air. That night, alone in his childhood bedroom, Michael opened the envelope. Inside was a single sheet of paper, written in his mother's careful script, "Don't trust your sister." No explanation, no signature, just the warning. Michael couldn't sleep. The letter burned in his mind, raising questions he couldn't answer. Why would his mother warn him about Claire? They'd never been close, but Michael had always assumed it was just the distance, the years apart. Now, every memory of his sister seemed tinged with suspicion. He remembered the fights, the secrets, the way Claire always seemed to get what she wanted. The next morning, Michael began sorting through their mother's belongings. In a jewelry box, he found a locket with 2 photos, one of him as a child, the other of Claire. Tucked behind the photos was a folded note, "The truth is in the attic." Michael's heart pounded. He climbed the creaking stairs, flashlight in hand, and began searching through boxes of old letters, photo albums, and forgotten toys. In a dusty trunk, he found a stack of journals, each labeled with year. The entries were written in Evelyn's hand, chronicling decades of family life. Michael flipped through the pages, searching for anything about Claire. He found references to the incident, to secrets that must stay buried, and to a promise made in fear. The entries grew more frantic as the years went on, ending with a final, chilling line, "If you're reading this, it's already too late." Michael spent hours piecing together the story from his mother's journals. The incident had happened when he was 6 and Claire was 10. He remembered little from that time, just a sense of unease, a memory of waking up to shouting in the night. The journals described a night when Claire had disappeared for hours, returning home with blood on her clothes and a wild look in her eyes. Evelyn had covered for her, telling the police Claire had been sleepwalking. But the truth was darker. Evelyn wrote of finding a neighbor's cat dead in the backyard, of Claire's cold indifference, of her growing fear that something was wrong with her daughter. She described visits to doctors, therapists, and specialists, all of whom dismissed her concerns. "She's just a troubled child," they said. But Evelyn knew better. Michael's hands shook as he read the final entry from that year. "I made a promise to protect Michael, no matter what. I can't trust Claire. I can't trust anyone." The warning in the letter took on new meaning. Michael realized his mother had spent her life hiding the truth, not just from the world, but from him. Claire announced she was staying for a few weeks to help settle the estate. Michael tried to act normal, but every conversation felt like a test. Claire was charming with the neighbors, efficient with the lawyers, and coldly polite with Michael. She insisted on handling the finances, sorting through their mother's will, and deciding what to do with the house. One evening, Michael caught Claire in their mother's study, rifling through drawers. She jumped when he entered, her smile brittle. "Just looking for some old photos," she said. Michael didn't believe her. He began to notice other strange things, missing documents, erased voicemails, and a sense that someone was watching him. Determined to find out what Claire was hiding, Michael installed a security camera in the study. That night, he watched as Claire returned, searching through files and taking photos of certain documents with her phone. Michael confronted her the next morning, but she brushed him off. "You're being paranoid," she said. "Mom always said you had an overactive imagination." But Michael knew the truth was out there, hidden in the shadows of their family's past. Michael's suspicions grew when the family lawyer called to say a second will had been found, one that left everything to Michael, with a single condition: Claire was to receive nothing. The lawyer was baffled. "Your mother was very clear in her instructions," he said. "She was afraid for you." Claire was furious when she found out. She accused Michael of forging the will, of manipulating their mother in her final days. The siblings argued, their voices echoing through the empty house. Michael showed Claire the letter, but she laughed. "You always were Mom's favorite," she sneered. "She turned you against me." Michael began to fear for his safety. He changed the locks, kept his phone close, and started sleeping with a baseball bat by his bed. He knew Claire was capable of anything, and he was determined to find out what she was hiding before it was too late. Digging deeper, Michael found a box of old police reports in the attic. The reports detailed a series of incidents involving Claire: vandalism, theft, even an arson investigation. Each time, Evelyn had intervened, convincing the authorities to drop the charges. The reports painted a picture of a troubled, dangerous child, one who had never faced consequences for her actions. Michael confronted Claire with the evidence. She didn't deny it. "I did what I had to do," she said, her voice cold. "Mom always protected you. She never understood me." Michael realized his mother's warning had been about more than just the past, it was about the future. He found a final letter from Evelyn, hidden in the pages of a book. "If you're reading this, Claire knows the truth. Be careful. She won't stop until she gets what she wants." Michael realized he was in a race against time to uncover the full story, and to protect himself from his own sister. The tension between Michael and Claire reached a breaking point. One night, Michael woke to find Claire standing over his bed, her eyes cold and empty. "You think you're so much better than me," she whispered. "But you're just as weak as Mom." Michael grabbed his phone, threatening to call the police. Claire laughed, backing away. "Go ahead. No one will believe you." They never did. Michael realized she was right. Claire had always been able to twist the truth, to make herself the victim. Desperate, Michael called the family lawyer, sharing everything he'd found. The lawyer advised him to leave the house and stay with a friend. "Your mother was right to warn you," he said. "Claire is dangerous." Michael packed a bag and left, but not before hiding the evidence he'd gathered. He knew the fight wasn't over, but he was determined to survive. With the help of the lawyer, Michael pieced together the full story. Claire had been diagnosed with a severe personality disorder as a teenager, but Evelyn had kept it secret to protect the family's reputation. The incident in their childhood had been more serious than Michael realized. Claire had attacked their neighbor's child, nearly killing her. Evelyn had covered it up, moving the family to a new town and starting over. The truth was devastating. Michael realized his mother's love had been both a shield and a prison. She'd spent her life protecting him from Claire, and protecting Claire from herself. The final letter was a plea for Michael to break the cycle, to choose safety over loyalty. Michael went to the police, sharing everything he'd found. Claire was arrested, her crimes finally coming to light. The family's secrets were exposed, but Michael felt a sense of relief. The nightmare was over. The news of Claire's arrest shocked the community. Friends and neighbors struggled to reconcile the charming woman they knew with the truth of her past. Michael faced questions from reporters, friends, and family. Some blamed him for betraying his sister, others praised his courage. Michael struggled with guilt and grief. He mourned the family he'd lost, the mother who'd tried to protect him, and the sister he'd never really known. But he also felt a sense of freedom, a weight lifted from his shoulders. He sold the family home, donated the proceeds to charity, and started a new life in another city. He kept his mother's final letter, a reminder of the strength it took to face the truth. Years later, Michael found peace. He built a new life, surrounded by friends who became family. He honored his mother's memory by living honestly, refusing to let secrets define him. He spoke at support groups, encouraging others to trust their instincts and seek help. Michael forgave his mother for her secrets, understanding that she'd done her best in an impossible situation. He even forgave Claire, hoping she would find help and healing. As he looked at his mother's letter, framed on his desk, Michael smiled. He had survived the darkness, and found the courage to start again. If you believe in the power of facing the truth and breaking the cycle of family secrets, share this story with someone who needs hope. What would you do if your mother's last words were a warning? Let us know in the comments below.